At first glance, the Moto G9 Plus has it all. A large display, big battery, a decent mid-range chip, as well as a quad camera system. The phone also has a pretty adequate price tag, selling for less than $300. But is everything really just as good as it sounds on paper? Hello guys, my name is Vic with PhoneArena, and the Moto G9 Plus is one pretty sturdy and also pretty large phone. With a 6.8-inch display and a body big enough to accommodate a 5000 mAh battery, you'll definitely feel it in your pocket. For many people, this phone might be just too big and too heavy. It's definitely a plus-size device. As for design, the G9 Plus is made out of plastic, of the glossy kind, and it catches fingerprint smudges like crazy. But thankfully, Motorola has included a case in the box, so that helps. We've also got a headphone jack at the top of the phone, as well as a fingerprint scanner embedded in the side power button. The fingerprint is fast and reliable, but if you're not a fan of it, you can always go for the less secure but similarly quick face unlock. The completely flat 6.8-inch LCD display has true-to-life colors, and it is the focus of this phone, but it's not nearly quite as good as AMOLED screens, such as on the Pixel 4a, for example. Yet still, viewing angles are fine for an LCD screen, and the motion blur often associated with LCD displays isn't that noticeable here. And the display also gets plenty bright, with a maximum brightness of 600 nits, which helps you when you use the phone outdoors. So what about performance? It's generally okay on the Moto G9 Plus thanks to the Snapdragon 730G chip that is used on board here. This is a very good mid-range processor. Sure, it's not as snappy as the flagship chipset, of course, but apart from the lack of 5G support or the slightly longer loading times for heavier apps, it's adequate for the price. And 3D gaming is also mostly okay, but don't expect exceptionally high FPS and demanding mobile games. Now, there's just 4GB of RAM on board the device, and I feel it's not enough, especially if you juggle between many apps on the regular, as they tend to reload quite often. On the positive side, you have 128GB of storage, but thanks to the hybrid SIM slot used here, you can throw in a microSD card for some extra storage as well. Now, as for the experience, when you've used one Motorola, you basically used them all. That generally sums up the software and the features aspect of the G9 Plus. The nearly stock Android 10 on board here is just lightly sprinkled with a few custom Moto functionalities that enhance the overall user experience without standing in the way. You can flick the phone to open the camera or double chop to start the LED flash. Okay. Now there's something interesting that Motorola does here, double tapping the power button, and the user is quickly presented with a pop-up box containing up to 6 app shortcuts that are available right next to your fingertip, and is an easy way to access some of your favorite apps and saves you a thumb stretch here and there. Finally, it's time to talk about the ace in the sleeve of the Moto G9 Plus. Its battery life. The large 5000 mAh battery lasts on and on. In my experience, the Moto G9 Plus is easily a 2-day phone with regular to heavy usage and could easily last you even longer. Our custom battery tests agree with that. The device ranked at the top of our web browsing test with a score of 12 hours and 45 minutes. It scored 11 hours of YouTube streaming and hit nearly 6 hours and a half of 3D gaming. Those are outstanding results no matter how you look at it. And charging is super fast too. Thanks to the 30-watt turbo power charger that's included inside the box, the Moto G9 Plus goes from 0 to 100% in just an hour and 20 minutes. Now, in terms of camera quality, you get a 64 megapixel main camera. It's not quite as good as the Google Pixel One, which is the leading in the class, but it's a decent performer. Images turn out mostly fine, but the colors are a bit pale and not that punchy, making some images appear a bit lifeless. And the 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera here does a good job, especially when you have bright light. There's also a dedicated night vision camera mode included for those shots when you have almost no light. And selfies look okay to me, with just the right amount of detail and colors that make your face look good. So for the most part, yes, the Moto G9 Plus is a surprisingly decent mid-range phone with incredible battery life and good performance. It has no AMOLED screen, which is a bit of a bummer, and the cameras are not quite top-notch. So if you want that, make sure to check out our review of the Google Pixel 4a, which costs about the same as this phone here and has a far superior camera system. But if you can get it for a cheap price and just want a reliable device that lasts on and on, the G9 Plus is a decent option. So this concludes our review of the Moto G9 Plus. I hope you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel PhoneArena. My name is Vic, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.